never forget this. That old boy preached on hell for about 45 minutes. Oh my. He cried and preached on hell like he believed folks really went there. Amen. And listen, when he gave that invitation, he started preaching about the cross on the road to hell, and told me I didn't have to go there. That Jesus shed his blood that'll keep sinners out of hell. And that stuck in my mind. That stuck in my mind.
Another verse of an invitation song. The message, it was loud and long. A million thoughts raced through his head, but he just can't shake what the preacher said. He remembers the time before, got up and ran out the door. He wonders now what he should do. His sweaty hands grip the back of the pew. His heart is pounding deep inside, and he wishes he could run and hide, but he hears a voice say, "Come and pray," and this time nothing will stand in his way. Nothing makes heaven's angels rejoice like a sinner who's just made Jesus his choice, and nothing compares to the way that it feels to know a risen Savior and the love he reveals. To know a risen Savior, the love he reveals.
Listen, friend, I heard about that. The third verse, just as I am, I slid under that altar.
On his knees with tears streaming down his face, he's just been saved by amazing grace. He stands and says as he looks around, I once was lost, but now I'm found. He sees everything from a different view, and deep inside he feels brand new. As brothers and sisters shake his hand, angels celebrating glory land. His brand new life had just begun, and he'd grow stronger in days to come. But he never dreamed there would come a day when he'd preach God's word to a crowd and say, nothing makes heaven's angels rejoice like a sinner who's just made Jesus his choice, and nothing compares to the way that it feels to know a risen Savior and the love he reveals. To know a risen Savior and the love he reveals. Another verse of an invitation song. The message, it was loud and long. A million thoughts raced through his head, but he just can't shake what the preacher said.
And there at that altar, this is what I said. I said, God, I know I'm a sinner. I know I'm going to hell, just like that preacher said. But Lord, I don't want to go. I said, God, he said, that preacher said, that the drunk blood would save me. I said, God, if I go to hell, I'll go trusting in the blood of Jesus Christ. I want to tell you, there's about 2 acres of heaven that came down in my soul.
All right, welcome to Resident Preacher. We are doing a daily read of the Bible, going through the Bible chapter by chapter, verse by verse, starting in Genesis, going all the way through. The main purpose that I am here is to let you know about Jesus. I want to talk about Jesus. Now, to do that, we were going to go through and we were going to read the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, which tells you all about Jesus. But I noticed in Matthew, to start with, it talks about all of the generations of Jesus. So we needed to find out who some of those generations were that are in Jesus's line, so that we, when we come across their names, that we can think back and say, "Hey, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah." So we're going to do a quick read through the Old Testament, not to pull a lot from it, but to focus on some of these men and women that are in Jesus' genealogy, just so we got some kind of basis of who they were. So when I say David, you'll kind of understand who David was and what he did, and so on and so forth. But it's also to motivate myself and hopefully you out there to be able to just read through the Bible every day, or read something in the Bible every day to help us with our walk, or for understanding, or whatever it might be, because this is for the person who knows nothing about Jesus. This is for the person that knows a little bit but not really. This is for the person who has had Jesus jammed down their throat their whole lives through religion, basically, and they just want to puke it out and get rid of it. This is for the people who might know and might be saved, or are saved, but they're questioning that. This is for the people who know Jesus and are comfortable but just want to read through the Bible with us. And then on Wednesday nights, hopefully this coming Wednesday, we're going to start doing the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I just wanted to get a little ways through Genesis before we did that. So if you have a Bible, want to read along with me, I'm in Genesis chapter 32. We left off at 31. So we're talking about Jacob. So far, we've read about Abraham, we've read about Isaac, and now we are Jacob in the lineage of Jesus. So chapter 32. And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, "This is God's host." And he called the name of that place Mahanaim. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother, and to the land of Seir, the country of Edom. And he commanded them, saying, "Thus shall we speak unto my lord Esau. Thy servant Jacob saith thus, I have sojourned with Laban, and stayed there until now. And I have oxen and asses, flocks, and men servants, and women servants, and I have sent to tell my lord, that I may find grace in thy sight." And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, "We came to thy brother Esau, and also he cometh to meet thee, and 400 men with him." And Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks and herds, and the camels into 2 bands, and said, "If Esau come to the one company and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape." So what he's talking about here is Jacob took his birthright. He took his blessing from his father, and so he ran off to his mom's family. That's where he got married. That's where he's been all these years, and because Esau wanted to kill him for doing what he did. And now he's coming back, and he's sending people ahead to let him know that he's coming, just so to kind of check the waters. And he's trying to give him all these things to say, basically, I'm sorry and I'm coming. And so that's why he's talking about breaking them up in 2 groups. So if Esau goes after this first group, the second group can flee. So chapter 32, verse 9. And Jacob said, "O God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Isaac, the Lord which saidst unto me, return unto thy country and to thy kindred, and I will deal well with thee. I am not worthy at the least of all the mercies and of all the truth which thou hast showed unto my servant. For with my staff I passed over with Jordan, and now I am become two bands. Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, for the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he will come and smite me and the mother with the children. And thou saidst, I will surely do thee good, and make thy seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered from multitude. And he lodged there that same night, and took of that which came to his hand a present for Esau his brother, 200 she-goats and 20 he-goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 milk camels with their colts, 40 kine, and 10 bulls, 20 she-asses, and 10 fowls. And he delivered them unto the hand of his servants, every drove by themselves, and said unto his servant, Pass over before me, and put a space betwixt drove and drove. And he commanded the foremost, saying, When Esau my brother meeteth thee, and asketh thee, saying, Whose art thou, and whither goest thou, and whose art these before thee? Then thou shalt say, They be thy servant Jacob's. It is a present sent unto my lord Esau, and behold, also he is behind us. And so commanded he the second and the third, and all that followed the drove, saying, On this manner shall ye speak unto Esau when ye find him. And say, Ye moreover, behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the present that goeth before me, and afterward I will see his face, peradventure he will accept of me. So went the present over before him, and himself lodged that night in the company. And he rose up that night, and took the 2 wives, and his 2 women servants, and his 11 sons, and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them, and sent them over the brook, and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, as he wrestled with him. And he said, Let me go, for the day breaketh. And he saith, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, What is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and hast prevailed. And Jacob asked him, and said, Tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, Wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. And as he passed over Peniel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Therefore the children of Israel eat not of the sinew which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh and the sinew that shrank. So, I know there's a lot of these and thous and a little different verbiage in here that we're probably not used to. But don't get hung up on that. Don't get stuck on that, because it's pretty simple and basic what it means. You or me or they. You can fit that right in there, and those are the meanings of those words. There's going to be other words that as we go through that you're not going to understand or maybe know what they mean. There's a dictionary that I use that when there's a word, I look it up, and there's an app for it also. If you want to know what that is, just let me know, and I can I'll shoot that out to you guys. And also, I just wanted to say, too, that I'm just trying to read through this. And I know that people might have questions about Jesus and questions about what I'm doing and what I'm reading. And I won't be able to take too much time to talk on that, because I'm trying to get through here and get to some of these men so we can get to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But we are going to have a question and answer. So if you have questions, we're working on putting on a question button that you can hit, ask your question, and then we're going to have a question and answer time that we can go over those. And just know that I'm going to try not to put my opinion in those answers. All those answers I'm going to try to pull out of the Bible, as long as they are Bible questions or spiritual questions, because everybody has a lot of opinions. Everybody has opinion and they change. The only opinion that doesn't change is God's opinion. So that's the one that matters. So now we're going to go to chapter 33. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came, and with him 400 men, and he divided the children unto Leah and unto Rachel and unto the two handmaids. And he put the handmaids and their children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Joseph hindermost. And he passed over before them and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. And Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. And he lifted up his eyes and saw the women and the children, and said, Who are those with thee? And he said, The children which God hath graciously given thy servant. Then the handmaidens came near, they and their children, and they bowed themselves. And Leah also with her children came near and bowed themselves. And after came Joseph near, and Rachel, and they bowed themselves. And he said, What meanest thou by all this drove which I met? And he said, These are to find grace in the sight of my Lord. And Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Keep that thou hast unto thyself. And Jacob said, Nay, I pray thee, if now I have found grace in thy sight, then receive my present at my hand, for therefore I have seen thy face, as though I have seen the face of God, and thou wast pleased with me. Take, I pray thee, my blessing that is brought to thee, because God hath dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough. And he urged him, and he took it. And he said, Let us take our journey, and let us go, and I will go before thee. And he said unto him, My Lord, knowest that the children are tender, and the flocks and herds with young are with me. And if men should overdrive them one day, all the flock will die. Let my Lord, I pray thee, pass over before his servant, and I will lead on softly, according as a cattle that goeth before me, and the children be able to endure until I come unto my Lord unto Seir. And Esau said, Let me now leave with thee some of the folk that are with me. And he said, What needeth it? Let me find grace in the sight of my Lord. So Esau returned that day on his way unto Seir. And Jacob journeyed to Succoth and built him a house, and made booths for his cattle. Therefore the name of the place is called Succoth. Esau saying, okay, well, let's go, let's push on. But Jacob was saying, we've traveled a long way. Everybody's tired. The feet of the fowl are hurting, and everything is going on there. Just let us go slow. You go ahead and go. And Esau said, sure. Verse 18, and Jacob came to Shalem, a city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, when he came from Padaram, and pitched his tent before the city. And he bought a parcel of field where he had spread his tent at the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. And he erected there an altar and called it Eli Israel. Chapter 34, and Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. And we all know what lay with her meant. And his soul clave unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, and he loved the damsel, and spake kindly unto the damsel. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it, and the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had wrought folly in Israel, and lying with Jacob's daughter, Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. And Hamor communed with them, saying, The soul of my son Shechem longeth for your daughter. I pray you give her him to wife. and make ye marriages with us, and give us daughters unto us, and take our daughters unto you. And ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you. Dwell and take ye therefore therein, and get you possession therein. And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, Let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me, but give me the damsel to wife. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully, and said, Because he had defiled Dinah their sister. And they said unto them, We cannot do this thing, to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. But in this will we consent unto you, if ye will be as we be, that every male of you be circumcised. Then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then will we take our daughter, and we will be gone. And their words pleased Hamor and Shechem, Hamor's son. And the young men deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his fathers. And Hamor and Shechem his son came unto the gate of their city, and communed with the men of their city, saying, These men are peaceable with us, therefore let them dwell in the land, and trade therein, for the land, behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters. Only herein will the men consent unto us for to dwell with us, to be one people. If every male among us be circumcised as they are circumcised, shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. And unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son hearkened all that went out of the gate of his city, and every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came upon the city boldly, and slew all the males. And so what they did is they basically set them up. They had no intention of commingling with Hamor and Shechem, and they knew that if they got them to circumcise themselves, that all the men would be weak. So at that time, on the third day, they went in and killed all the men, all the males. And they slew Hamor and Shechem, his son, verse 26, with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out, and Shechem's house, and went out. The sons of Jacob came upon the slain, and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister. They took their sheep, and their oxen, and their asses, and that which was in the city, and that which was in the field. And all their wealth, and all their little ones, and their wives took they captive, and spoiled even all that was in the house. And Jacob said to Simon and Levi, Ye have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And I being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me, and slay me, and I shall be destroyed, I and my house. And they said, Should he deal with our sister as with a harlot? So what Jacob is saying is, okay, now you've made everybody mad in the land, and they're going to all get together, and they're going to kill us. And one thing you need to think about, he always keeps forgetting how God already told him that he is going to make him, that all the land is going to be theirs, and that they're going to multiply, and all of this kind of stuff. And he always goes back to, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So chapter 25, if you're just stopping by and checking us out, we are, when I say we, I mean me and whoever's listening out there. We're doing a daily read through the Bible. We are in Genesis chapter 25. We are trying to recognize who some of the genealogy in Jesus' line. And we're going to be in Matthew chapter 1. Hopefully next Wednesday we're going to start. And it goes to the genealogy. That's what it starts with. So I thought we would go back. We would do a daily read. Also, it helps me to read the Bible daily. So I appreciate that too. So this is just much as for me as it is for you. we're going to be doing a question and answer here. We're going to have a button that you can hit. It's going to have questions that you can type in your questions, and we're going to be setting aside a time to answer those. And we're going to keep doing some different stuff. This is for the main purpose of all of this is to spread the good news. It's to get the gospel out there and the life of Jesus. And the best way to do that is Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, which are considered the gospels. And I'm excited about it, and I'm going to try to be as diligent as possible. This weekend we are taking off, my wife and I and our baby, and we're going to be on the road, but I'm still going to try to get on there and read and talk and chat with you folks, but it's going to be raw. It ain't going to be produced like this, so I just don't want to miss a day. I want to keep on keeping on with what we're doing, and I hope that it helps you guys as much as it's helping me. We're going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back with you. All right, I am back. We are in chapter 35. If you're just stopping in and checking us out, this is Resident Preacher, and we are doing a daily read through the Bible. If you have questions, we're going to have a question and answer button that's going to be popping up here pretty soon that you can hit that, put all your questions, and we're going to have a question and answer and be able to talk back and forth a lot more about those. We're trying to read about some of the men in the generations of Jesus that are talked about in Matthew. This is for Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. We're going to start on Wednesdays, and it's just about Jesus. We want to know more about Jesus. We want to learn about what he did, who he is, who he's going to be, and what he's going to do for us, and what he has already done for us. And if you have any questions about that too, you could go back and you can look on it's on the recordings, and it starts at chapter 1 in Genesis, but there's also a segment on John chapter 3. If you can't find it here, you can also go and see it on YouTube. It's recorded over there also, and the link is on the page here. And I appreciate whoever is stopping by and whoever's listening, and we're going to keep on keeping on here for a few more chapters. I'm going to be on the road over the weekend, but I'm going to try to hop on here and chat with you guys over the weekend too. So chapter 35. And God said unto Jacob, Arise, go up to Bethel and dwell there, and make there an altar unto God, that appeared unto thee when thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother. Then Jacob said unto his household and to all that were with him, Put away the strange gods that are among you, and be clean, and change your garments, and let us arise and go up to Bethel, and I will make there an altar unto God, who answered me in the day of my distress, and was with me in the way which I went. And they gave unto Jacob all the strange gods that were in their hand, and all their earrings which were in their ears, and Jacob hid them under the oak which was by Shechem. And they journeyed, and the terror of God was upon the cities that were round about them, and they did not pursue after the sons of Jacob. So Jacob came to Luz, which is in the land of Canaan, that is Bethel, he and all the people that were with him. And he built there an altar, and called the place El Bethel, because there God appeared unto him when he fled from the face of his brother. But Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and she was buried beneath Bethel under an oak, and the name of it was called Elon Bachem. And God appeared unto Jacob again when he came out of Padan-aram, and blessed him. And God said unto him, Thy name is Jacob, thy name shall not be called Jacob, the name not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. And God said unto him, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply, a nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac, to thee I will give it, and to thy seed after thee will I give the land. And those are two people that are in the lineage of Jesus, the generations of Jesus, Abraham and Isaac is. And there's a lot of repetition in here. He has said time and time and time again, be fruitful and multiply, and nations and the company of nations shall be theirs, and kings shall come out of thy loins. That point is driven home time and time and time again. And you're going to see a lot of repetition in the Bible, and that's what it takes for us to absorb it, for us to learn it, for us to understand it. I don't know about you, but me doing things over and over and over again helps me remember how to do it or to be able to do it. So we are in chapter 35, verse 13. And God went up from him in the place where he talked with him, and Jacob set up a pillar in the place where he talked with him, even a pillar of stone, and he poured a drink offering thereon, and he poured oil thereon. And Jacob called the name of the place where God spake with him Bethel. And they journeyed from Bethel, and there was but a little way to come to Ephrath, and Rachel travailed, and she had hard labor. And it came to pass, when she was in hard labor, that the midwife said unto her, Fear not, thou shalt have this son also. And it came to pass, as her soul was in departing, she was dying, for she died, that she called his name Benoni, but his father called him Benjamin. And Rachel died, and was buried in the way to Ephrath, which is Bethlehem. And Jacob set a pillar upon her grave, that is the pillar of Rachel's grave unto this day. And Israel journeyed and spread. Okay, Israel, you know who we're talking about. We're talking about Jacob, right? And Israel journeyed and spread his tent beyond the tower of Adar. And it came to pass, when Israel dwelt in that land, that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine. And Israel heard it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. The sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and Simeon, and Levi, and Judah, and Issachar, and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel were Joseph and Benjamin. The sons of Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid, Dan and Naphtali. And the sons of Zilpah, Leah's handmaid, were Gad and Asher. These are the sons of Jacob, which were born to him in Padan. And Jacob came unto Isaac his father, unto Mamre, unto the city of Arba, which is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac sojourned. And the days of Isaac were 180 years. And Isaac gave up the ghost, and died, and was gathered unto his people, being old and full of days. And his son Esau and Jacob buried him. So now that was Abraham's been talked about, Isaac's been talked about, Jacob, who is now Israel, is being talked about throughout those chapters. So chapter 36, now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaanite, Adah, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Aholbamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite, and Beshemath, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nebajoth. And Adah bare to Esau Eliphaz, and Bashemath bare Reuel, and Aholabamah bare Jeush, and Jalem, and Korah. These are the sons of Esau, which were born unto him in the land of Canaan. Now, I'm sure I butchered all of those, but I did the best I could. I have a Bible that has the lines over like the A, so you pronounce the A, and so on and so forth to help me with that, but I'm sure I still butcher it. I'm going to put Moses in the ark every once in a while, so just bear with me. Verse 6, and Esau took his wives and his sons and his daughters and all the persons of his house and his cattle and his beasts and all his substance which he had got in the land of Canaan, and went into the country from the face of his brother Jacob. For their riches were more than that they might dwell together, and the land wherein they were strangers could not bear them because of their cattle. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. These are the names of Esau's sons. So here we go again. Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau. Reuel, the son of Beshemath, the wife of Esau. And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zeapo, and Getam, and Kenaz. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. And these are the sons of Reuel, Nahath, and Zahar, and Shema, and Zimmah. These were the sons of Beshemath, Esau's wife. And these were the sons of Ahalabah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon, Esau's wife, and she bare to Esau Jeush, and Jalem, and Korah. Now, I know that you're going through one. Why are we doing this? This is boring. I don't want to do this. But these people, just like the reason why we're reading the Old Testament, these people are going to be talked about as we go through more and more and more of the Bible. It's going to refer back to these people, and you can say, oh yeah, that was from the line of Esau. And Esau's line, Esau was from Isaac, but he married daughters of Ishmael. So that's that separation. So verse 15, these were dukes of the sons of Esau, the son of Eliphaz, the firstborn son of Esau, Duke Taman, Duke Omar, Duke Zeapo, Duke Kenaz, Duke Korah, Duke Gatam, and Duke Amalek. These are the dukes that came of Eliphaz in the land of Edom, which were the son of Adah. Whew, I need a drink after that. And these are the sons of Reuel, Esau's son, Duke Nahath, Duke Zerah, Duke Shammah, Duke Mizah. These are the dukes that came of Reuel in the land of Edom, that are the sons of Bashemath, Esau's wife. And these are the sons of I always mess up this one. Ahalabama, Esau's wife, Duke Jeush, Duke Jalem, Duke Korah. These were the dukes that came of Ahalabama, the daughter of Anah, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Esau, who is in Edom, and these are their dukes. These are the sons of Seir, the Horite, who inhabited the land, Lotan and Shebal, and Zibeon and Ahor. And Dishon and Ezor and Dishon. These are the dukes of the Horites, the children of Seir in the land of Edom. And the children of Lotan were Hori and Hammam, and Lotan's sister was Timnah. And the children of Shobal were these, Alvan and Manassas, and Ebal, Shopah, and Onan. And these are the children of Zibeon, both Asia and Anna. This was that Anna that found the mules in the wilderness as he fed the asses of Zibeon his father. And the children of Anna were these, Dishon, Ahorabama, the daughter of Anah. And these are the children of Dishon, Himdan, and Ishban, and Ethan, and Shiran. The children of Izar are these, Bilhan, and Zavan, and Achan. The children of Dishon are these, Uz and Aaron. And these are the dukes that came of the Horites, Duke Lodan, Duke Shubal, Duke Zibeon, Duke Anah, Duke Dishon, Duke Azar, Duke Dishon. These are the dukes that came of Hori among their dukes in the land of Seir. And these are the kings that reigned in the land of Edom before there reigned any king over the children of Israel. Now hang with me, stay with me. I know that this is a lot of names, but it does refer back to these, and this is where a lot of the names of the cities will come from. A lot of these names that you're hearing now, and these are the generations of Esau. Verse 33. And Bilhah died, and Jacob the son of Zerah of Bozrah reigned in his stead. And Jabab died, and Husham of the land of Timnai reigned in his stead. And Husham died, and Hadad the son of Bedad, who smote Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his stead, and the name of that city was Avith. And Hadad died, and Shemuel of Mazriacah reigned in his stead. And Shimlah died, and Saul of Rehoboth by the river reigned in his stead. And Saul died, and Baal-Hanan the son of Achbor reigned in his stead. And Baal-Hanan the son of Achbor died, and Hadar reigned in his stead. And the name of the city was Peu, and his wife's name was Mahatabel, the daughter of Matred, the daughter of Mezibahab. And these are the names of the dukes that came of Esau, according to their families, after their places, by their names: Duke Timnah, Duke Alva, Duke Japheth, Duke Ahalabama, Duke Elah, Duke Pinon, Duke Kenaz, Duke Taman, Duke Midzar, Duke Megadil, Duke Iram. These be the dukes of Edom, according to their inhabitants, according to their habitations in the land of their possession. He is Esau, the father of the Edomites. Okay, I know that was a lot. Trust me, it was a lot for me to read too. But it is important. Everything in here is important, and there's a reason for it, because this goes through and it tells you generations, so it tells us where we're at, and further on down, if somebody is studying the genealogy of Esau and looking back on these cities and how it important was and how it interacted and so on and so forth, they need to know this information. Now, chapter 37. We're going to do one more chapter 37, because I don't want to end on that note. So chapter 37, and Jacob dwelt in the land. Now, who is Jacob? So he's going to refer to him as Jacob and Israel. Jacob is Israel, Israel is Jacob. Okay? Because remember, in the other chapter, God changed his name from Jacob to Israel. Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren, and the lad was with the son of Bilhah, and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. And Israel loved Joseph. Okay, who are we talking about? Israel. Israel's Jacob. Loved Joseph more than all of his children, because he was a son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him. Okay, so if you've been around this at all, as far as the Bible or church or however it might be, you've heard about Joseph and the things of Joseph has done. So for starters, Joseph went and he started off on a bad note with his brothers, because he basically ratted them out, because he told his dad what the boys were doing. So then, now in verse 3, now Israel loved Joseph more than all of his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him. I know we read that, just read it twice. Verse 5, and Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright, and behold, your sheaf stood around about and made obeisance to my sheaf. And his brethren said to him, shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. So he's not helping himself out at all here. He's pouring salt on the wound. Verse 9, and he dreamed yet another dream, and told his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more, and behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him, and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee to the earth? And his brethren envied him, but his father observed the saying. So his father paid attention, but his brothers were envious and upset at him, and they already were mad because their dad loved him more than them and made him a special coat. And then he goes and tells them, hey, you guys are going to be worshiping me, basically. But his dad was smart because he observed the saying. Verse 12, and his brethren went to feed their flocks, their father's flocks, in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, Do not thy brethren feed the flocks in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, Here am I. That's a phrase you're going to hear a lot. Here am I. And he said to him, Go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, What seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks? And the man said, They are departed hence, for I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren, and found them in Dothan. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. And they said one to another, Behold, this dreamer cometh. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit, and we will say, Some evil beast hath devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. And Reuben heard it, and was delivered him out of their hands, and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hands upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again. And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him. And they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty, there was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah said unto his brethren, What profited us if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content. And there passed by Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites, and 20 pieces of silver, and they brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes, and he returned unto his brethren, and said, The child is not, and I whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat, and killed a kid of the goats, and dipped the coat in the blood. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father, and said, This have we found. Know now whether it be thy son's coat or not. And he knew it, and said, It is my son's coat. An evil beast hath devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes, and put sackcloth upon his loins, and mourned for his son many days. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him. But he refused to be comforted, and he said, For I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's and captain of the guard. Okay, so the brothers were obviously very upset. I mean, they wanted to kill him, but Reuben saved his life and said, Hey, instead, let's throw him in this pit. Well, while Reuben was off, the brothers saw these merchants come across and got a idea and said, Hey man, let's not just leave him in there. Let's sell him That way his blood won't be on us. And then they took his coat, they killed an animal and put blood on it to make it look like it was Joseph's, brought it back to their dad and said, look at this coat. And not many people probably had a coat of many colors back then, so it was probably pretty obvious that it was Joseph's, and there was blood on it. So he went, and so his father wept and was all tore up about it. And then the Midianites that purchased Joseph sold him in Egypt to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's and captain of the guard. So that's where we're going to end up tonight. So I appreciate it that you stopped by. I hope some of this was a blessing to you. I know that we went through a lot of names there with the genealogy of Esau, so I appreciate you hanging in there if you did. Remember, this is about the whole purpose of this is we want to learn about Jesus. So what we're doing is kind of getting the background of his generations. So when we get into Matthew and they start talking about people, that we're going to kind of know who they are. So this is going to be a daily read, but hopefully next Wednesday or soon to come, we're going to be in the Gospels. We'll be reading about the good news, which is what Jesus brought us about salvation. We're going to learn about who he was, who he is, and what he's doing for us now, and when he's going to come back, and just hang in there with me with this reading. And if anything else, you can say you read through the Bible, or you can say you read a chapter of the Bible, or use it to motivate you to read every day with me, or however this works for you. And we're going to be setting up a button for questions, because I know that we're going through a lot here, and there's going to be questions, and I don't want to focus on the Old Testament. I mainly just want to bring these men out of the Old Testament and who they are, and women. But the whole purpose is to get to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and learn about Jesus. So again, I appreciate it. I am going to be on the road this weekend. I'm going to try to pop in on my phone, so it won't be produced like this. It'll be raw. But stop by and say, hey, if you can. Talk to you soon. Thank you. I'll be on here if you want to chat anything for a little bit while the music's playing, but then I'll be off. Thank you.
On the Isle of Patmos, John began to say, the Spirit, it came on me. It was on the Lord's day, when I heard a voice behind me as a mighty rushing wind. Oh, the voice of God as a trumpet, and these are the words he said, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I am first, I'm last, and I'm the answer for your sin. I am he who died and was buried. I am the one who rose again. John, tell it to the churches. I am. Oh, the backside of the desert, oh, Moses began to pray. When Pharaoh comes asking, Lord, what should I say? To the land of milk and honey, God's children will go away. The am that I am has sent me, so let my people go today. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I am first, I'm last, and I'm the answer for your sin. I am he who died and Savior, and I am your close.